Right, I'm in the Mazda. I haven't been in the Mazda for like over a week. Let's see how she is. Still quite revvy. Still in need of new wiper blades. But the key thing is she going to drip?
Hub Nut, sponsored by Lancaster.
So the idle will come down. It does, honestly. But yeah, it does take a while. Oh, he's reversed there somewhere. There we go. It is particularly cold today, it must be said. Well, it's actually quite warm in the car because it's been sitting in the sun. We've had every kind of weather imaginable today. Rain, hail, snow. So it should be a good test for the sunroof, really. Of course, it isn't fixed. It's gaffer taped up. Let's turn ourselves around. It's all dry so far, isn't it? Maybe that's it. Maybe my super gaffer tape has done the trick. And someone did ask what the make of it is. And good point, actually. Let's see if I've got the roll in the car. There we go. There's the idle behaving. No. Apparently I don't. So there you go. Maybe I'll remember and put it in the description below. But yeah. I've actually been thinking about trying to sell the Mazda, which, to be honest, is ambitious, and I kind of accept that. But I have another car incoming very soon. I've no idea when this vlog's going out, so it might even have already happened. So yeah, I've been thinking long and hard about this car's future. I mean, generally I'll need a bit of a fleet cull, because I want to go and see the world, and it's pointless having lots of cars sitting around. So there are definitely a couple of keepers on the fleet, but otherwise I'm going to have to rationalise. And I've already discussed a bit on social media, but this car is likely to need a new home. Good grief. DPD couriers, what do they do? Vans with bits hanging off all the time. Apart from Harriet, who delivers stuff for us from DPD, her van's immaculate. I digress. Yeah, I do need to rationalise the fleet, but having mentioned that I was going to sell this car on social media, most people just kind of laughed or made derisory offers. I mean, it's a pretty awful car on the face of it, so no one is really interested. It's a shame because it's a really nice car as well. I mean, I've just jumped in it. It's been parked up a week, and it's swift. It's relatively quiet. Fair bit of road noise, I'll concede. But it's not horrific, especially after you've done a 400-mile round trip in a 2CV. And yeah, everything works. It's just, it looks terrible. And to be honest, I reckon at most it's got one more MOT pass in it, without the welding stick being needed. So yeah, I kind of put it up for sale and lost the will to live pretty swiftly. And I don't want a lot of money for it. Frankly, if I could get the 200 quid initial investment back, I'll be quite pleased. But then I remember Japfest is coming on the 5th of May at Silverstone Circuit. I'll be putting on a retro Japanese display there, and it occurred to me that they run track sessions all day, and though a 1.5 litre Mazda 323 is not the obvious choice of fearsome track weapon, I think it could be a lot of fun, having somewhere where I can really unleash its timid horsepower and not have to worry about speed cameras and such. So I think I'm quite tempted to do that first, and she can have one last blast of glory around the Silverstone circuit, and then I'll set her free. Parking is going to be tight at home because there is room for 6 cars, and the new car coming in this weekend will take me up to 6 cars. So it is all a bit of a squeeze. If anyone comes to visit, I have to tell them to get the bus. Simple as that. I'm sure I can rejig things so we can cram another car in somewhere. challenges to overcome. Pay attention to this bend, it's a bit of a tricky one. There we go. But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot I like about this car. I don't regret buying it. And, although it certainly isn't a money spinner, I bought it knowing it was very unlikely to be a money spinner. Some cars you buy thinking, oh yeah, I could make some money here. The Skoda have been a prime example of that. Everyone laughed at me, but I could see the beauty that lay within with that car, and so it proved. I actually managed to turn a profit on a car, which is unheard of, because I'm not always good at making that judgment. But the Mazda was more my traditional purchase. I knew there was no profit here, but I was curious to try one. One was offered for not very much money. I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, cheap cars are always a bit of a gamble. Yeah, such is life. Yeah, I mean, we're doing 60 mile an hour in this, and yeah, it feels like nothing. I don't feel like I can really challenge this car on a public road. So I think a track day might be surprisingly entertaining. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted. And then yeah, but we'll see about moving this one on, I think. Someone did express interest in the Alfa Romeo stereo cassette player. If that was you, it's probably best to drop me an email ian@hubnut.org. I would be willing to sell separately. I've just lost your comment. I'm sure it was there somewhere, but have you seen the number of comments I get on my videos? It is proving difficult to keep up with them, and I do try, because I like the interaction. I've written for magazines for years and no one says anything to you, so it's really nice to have instant feedback on what I'm putting out there. It's not always nice when it's correcting me for making mistakes, but that's natural. Mistakes happen. I don't like making mistakes. I absolutely hate it, but yeah, it does happen from time to time. It's the problem with history. And oh, this is turning into a proper old rant. It was meant to be all about the Mazda. But the problem with history is there are always more than one side to a story, and trying to decipher the truth of any one bit of history is very, very difficult, and it's certainly something I've battled with for many years as a writer, because no matter what you publish, no matter what your source is, there'll always be someone out there who will dispute it. And yes, the wiper blades are particularly noisy today, and the worst thing is I'm going to have to put them on constant. Oh. Maybe a bit of screen wash will quiet them down a bit. I used to work on my dad's Hillman Hunter. The wipers used to squeak if the windscreen wasn't soaked. So yeah, I don't like making mistakes, and I take it very badly when people point it out. But that's just me. I can't get everything right, and it's especially difficult to fact check when you're driving a car. It's not like I'm driving along with an encyclopedia on my lap. All the information is kind of in my brain, and I have to do my best to get it out. And sometimes I look back in the edit and I just go, that doesn't even make sense. But because I don't do multiple takes, I just record a stream of consciousness. It's very difficult to edit mistakes out. Even if I do spot them in the edit suite, I am perhaps a bit guilty of rushing the editing a bit on recent videos, just because, yeah, time is so tight. I'm recording so much content with my own ongoings and yeah, driving other cars, but yeah, it's a squeeze to get it all in. I went to Camsport here on the Glenaravon Industrial Estate, because I finally got fed up with the wiper noise. So let's see if all is now silent. Oh yes, magnificent. I can't get the rear one off, so I didn't bother changing that, but rear doesn't matter so much anyway, does it? I'm actually riding a bike. This feels like a very silly idea. Quite hard to do video. Whoa, windy. Well, riding a bike. I guess this is what a midlife crisis looks like. And yes, you can fit a full-size mountain bike in the back of a Mazda 323F. Oh, let's go home and have a cup of tea. Ooh, something sounds bad. Should we go and take a look? Okay. I think we can safely say that was not good. Where's it coming from? Oh gosh. That's been coming out with quite some force. Right. Don't worry now, get home is the main. I may have to concede that this car was not a great purchase. Oh dear. So that was like the pipe work for the power steering. It's obviously got a little cooler loop, and yeah, it's I think it's spraying out at quite high pressure by the sound of it. Yeah, those tyres are quite crap. Oh, so much for my frameless doors. So that was Saturday, today is Monday. There's now a Rover in my life which needs the brakes sorting out, and there's trips away to the Hubnut Social up in Cumbria to arrange. So I've got a Rover with dodgy brakes, which I'm hopefully going to fix tomorrow, and a Mazda that's spraying power steering fluid everywhere. Hopefully, I mean, it looks under here like there's enough good pipe that I can just cut the loop off and maybe put a bit of rubber in, but you got to form some flanges really, because otherwise the hose will just blow off. A bit of rubber hose, really brambles, rubber hose should do. It doesn't really need a cooler, it just doesn't get hot enough here for that to be an issue. So hopefully that bodge can work. I've actually booked this car in for a track session at Japfest on the 5th of May at Silverstone. Just for a laugh. I thought it'd be good fun to really take it somewhere where I haven't got to worry about sheep or ramblers or speed limits. So that should be interesting. Hopefully that will still happen. So 5th of May at Japfest should be a good laugh. But that's where we are with the Mazda. Sunroof fixed, another problem develops. The joy of cheap old cars. I know there's not a lot of love for this car, and that's a shame, because I've still had some fun in it and it's still covered plenty of miles. But yeah, it certainly is not the best example. So I shall say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Don't forget about the merchandise. We haven't got any Mazda merchandise. It would probably fall to bits even if we did. And yeah, I shall see you in a future video. Farewell.